What's up guys, SkyKevin here, and today we're looking at the current state of Last Oasis as of August 2021. We'll go into the details of what's going on with the game, as well as the current situation after the first wipe, including how well the season has gone. So, let's get started. As usual, if we begin, we can see that the Steam player charts have remained relatively strong for the player base. Still, out of a total release of around 2,500 concurrent players, the game is a shadow of its former self, even for Season 2, which had something more like 6,000 players when they wiped the first time. Still, the good news is we've seen that what I would consider a good number when it comes to the retention, which will hopefully keep up for the weeks to come. As an aside, they did end up releasing the map schedule for when each one comes online, and I really appreciate this since it gives everyone a timeline of where they're going to be at that stage of the season. So let's talk about the clan caps and realms, because that is probably the biggest change that they've had. They're gone, and thank goodness for that. The game immediately has had a new, refreshing feeling by allowing players to play it the way things were intended. Now, there's a nice assortment of groups of varying sizes, and they all take on their role in the ecosystem of each oasis. Indeed, once again the larger clans have started taking proxies and smaller clans living under them as settlers. Since the official servers still only have recently wiped, I haven't seen much for larger battles and walkers from many of the big clans. However, I think that will change soon enough, and we'll have the classic fights that we all know and love. In terms of content updates, there really wasn't much in terms of new stuff. The main addition to the game was the cash shop and adding cosmetic dyes, buildings, flares, fireworks, flags, symbols, and armor skins to choose from. These, although cool, don't offer much for functionality or additional gameplay, and although they're pretty to look at, you don't really have any effect of the in-game mechanics in any way aside from the occasional furniture item piece. You gain flobs by doing daily missions, and for some stupid reason, there's a daily cap on the number of flobs that you can get. Now, I don't mind them introducing cosmetics into a game like this if they need some kind of financial incentive to keep development going, even further on past release. But you have to admit, this was a pretty huge waste of development time and resources for the original players who bought the game never expecting a cash shop to be in place. Even after all that, which could be argued in either direction, the fact that they limit someone who plays the game often and even further makes the cash shop item something that is character bound when using flobs, but account wide when using nicks, it just leaves an unnecessary limitation on regular players that don't want to pay real money for the cosmetics. It's like, hey, you can totally wear this cool mask in-game, but you have to make sure you complete 6 of these quests once per day for the next week before you can buy it. Or you could just use real-life currency. The only reason I can think of them limiting the number of flobs you can get on your character per day precisely pertains to an artificial incentive to pay for it anyways. This is why games suck, because developers think they're so crafty in putting in these false limitations in place when in reality there should be zero reason why someone can't grind for an entire day non-stop to unlock whatever items they want in-game, especially cosmetics. I won't rant any further on this, but come on guys. Gamers know what you're doing when you introduce microtransactions into a game, so don't pull these types of BS limitations and don't turn LO into the next whale hunting game. Other than those changes to the core gameplay, they've added a few basic traps which, although effective, haven't been used too much in the meta so far as much as I've seen. Albeit, in the most recent patch, they did allow traps to be buildable on walkers and other structures, so perhaps we'll see some very creative uses for that. Ultimately, I think this season's content will be due mostly to what players want to get out of the game in its current state. There won't be any new and exciting changes, just the same old thing that you expected before. At least until Season 5, where they're saying that there's going to be a very large content drop. I know many players are stuck waiting for other games like New World to come out, so perhaps we'll see everyone stick around for some big walker fights, at least until the end of September. That's it for today. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more stuff on LO and other MMOs. I'm always answering any questions or comments you have down below, so let me know whether you're planning to stay playing LO for this next season, or if you're waiting for a new content drop before you pick the game back up again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.